Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Gaura Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
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 Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Gaura Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Gaura 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 Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Gaura Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Nitai Gaura
Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
बड़े वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय,
Jai,
बरसने वाली की जय,
Jai,
जय जय श्री राम।
Radhe Shyam.
गौर प्रेमानंद।
Hari 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 Bol.
Manamapi Aishachiputra Atra Surupam Rupam Tasyagrajamuri Puri Mathurim Goshtuvatim Radha Kundamagirivaram Ahoradikamarvasam Rapto Yasa Pratita Kripaya Sri Guru Tam Natosmi Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaya Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namah Anandalilamaya Vigrahaya Hemabhadyavyacchavi Sundaraya Tasmai Mahaprema Rasapradaya Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Bhaktya Vila Aparada Lekshe Chitta Sukamare Toram Kamohani Kripa Marita Sharanam Prapana Brinde Namaste Sharana Ravindam Brinde Namaste Sharana Ravindam Govinda Damodara Madhaveti Govinda Damodara Madhaveti Govinda Damodara Madhaveti Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. Everyone from your heart. Hey Krishna, Hey Rama, Hey Saketi, Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. Sham Sundar Shikanda Sekar Smaraha Sumuli Manora Radhikar Sukumama Kripanidhe Supriya Charna Kinkarim Kuru Tavaivasmi Najivami Tayavana Iti Vikyaya Devi Tam Nayamam Charanantikam. First of all, I offer my Sastang Dandavat Puspanjali, my heart like flowers thousands and thousands of times, at the lotus feet of my holy master, my supremely worshipable spiritual Gurudev, Asmadeva Paramaradhatama Guru Pada Padma, Nitya Leela Pravishta Om Vishnupad Ashtotara Satashisimad Rupanugacharya Varya Sila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj.
Jai.
Secondly, I offer my pranam thousands of times at the lotus feet of my Param Gurudev, to Srila Prabhupada and to all of our Sri Rupanuga Gaudiya Guru Parampara.
Jai.
And finally, I offer my pranam to all my dear Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis.
Turbhyasya kripasindhave vacha patitanam bhavabhinyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.
By the course's mercy of Sri Gurand Gauranga, today we are observing the most auspicious occasion of Sri Narasimgha Chaturdashi, the appearance day of Lord Nrsimhadev, and also the disappearance day of Hiranyakashipu. So, this history is most wonderful, and I am sure that all of you know this story better than me, for sure. But today we want to consider what are the underlying themes of this history of Prahlad Maharaj and Lord Nrsimhadev. What are the profound teachings that are meant to purify us, to change our life, to inform our vision and our decisions in life? This is what we want to focus on today. So please, kindly hear very attentively. Srimad Bhagavatam is the Grantaraj, the king of all scriptures. It is Mahapurana. So a Mahapurana has 10 symptoms. In other words, a Mahapurana is that scripture which describes in detail 10 different topics. So they have been described. Srila Shukadev Goswami Pad, he said, Atra saga visargascha stanam poshanam utaya manvanta ishanukata nirodha mukti ashraya. These are the 10 topics, beginning with Atra saga, that is the creation, the initial manifestation of the elements of the world by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then Visarga, the secondary creation. That means that being empowered by Lord Sri Krishna, Lord Brahma, he takes those elements and he combines them together to make all the things that we see around us in the universe today. So that is the secondary creation. Sthanam, how the Lord protects the universe. Poshanam, how he gives mercy to his devotees. Uti, Uti means the samskars, the deep impressions in everyone's chitta, in everyone's subconscious mind, which drive us to act in particular ways. That is called Uti. And then Manvantari Shanukata, which incarnations of the Lord come in the different periods of time which are ruled over by the various Manus, such as Swayambhuva Manu, Vaivasvata Manu. Now we're in the time of Vaivasvata Manu, and so on. Ishanukata, what are the pastimes of various incarnations of the Supreme Lord? Nirodha, the description of how the universe is dissolved, the annihilation, cosmic annihilation. Mukti, liberation. And last thing, Ashray. Ashray is what is the shelter of all existence? That is Sri Krishna himself. So the 10th topic of Srimad Bhagavatam is described in the 10th canto. Now, the question comes. The history of Lord Nrsimhadev and Prahlad Maharaj we find in the 7th canto. So of these 10 topics, which subject is it?
The last one.
What is this?
Seven.
What is this meant to teach us about? So the subject here is Uti. Uti. Uti means the stimulus to act that comes from our anadi, karma sanskara, the beginningless impressions of performing worldly activities, fruitive activities in this world, which have been lodged in our consciousness from time with no beginning, and which are causing us to flow through our destiny lifetime after lifetime. So that uti, that impetus to act, is of two types. That is Shubha and Ashubha. Auspicious uti and inauspicious uti. So by telling this history, Shukadev Goswami is illustrating this. For example, we all know that Hiranyakashipu is an angry fellow. He is a lusty fellow. Even his name, Hiranyakashipu. Hiranya means gold, and Kashipu means soft pillows. So that means he's obsessed with cash and bed pleasures. So his name is Hiranyakashipu, a very materialistic person. So how do we become, not you, but myself, how did I become like that? Very materialistic. And Prahlad Maharaj, on the other hand, he is so saintly. He never distinguishes between friends and enemies. He doesn't see friends and enemies. He doesn't see duality. He's always absorbed in love for Krishna. How did he become like that? So, perhaps you know that once Sanak, Sananda, Sanandan and Sanatan Kumar, the four Kumaras, by the mercy of their father Lord Brahma, they came to the gates of Vaikuntha. There are 7 gates, 6 gates they went through, but on the last gate, when they're about to enter, then Jai and Vijay, they checked them. So then, the 4 Kumaras, very qualified personalities, at that time they were Brahmavadis, they have realization of Brahman, very qualified Brahmanas. Then they became angry with Jai and Vijay. And they gave a curse to them, and as you know, as a result of this curse, they appeared and they became Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. So the teaching here is that if we make offense to great personalities, like the 4 Kumaras, they become angry, then this gives us a Ashubha Uti, inauspicious samskars, impressions, and we become under the control of that. So if you see anyone, or I know it never happened in your life, but if sometimes, theoretically, hypothetically, you became angry, then you should know that this is the reaction of sinful activities and offenses. And we've come under the control of that sanskar now. So, Hiranyakashipu is the extreme example of the Ashubha Uti, inauspicious impressions, controlling his behavior. And Prahlad Maharaj is the other side. Because he, Shubha Uti, because he received the mercy of a pure devotee, Narad Muni, then from the very moment he was born, he was always inclined to the service of Krishna. And his character and behavior were perfect. So, we should learn from this also. The most important thing in our life is to have the association of Shuddha Vaishnavas, pure devotees, transcendental Gurudev, and try to please them. Only by their blessing our entire sanskar can be completely transformed and we become naturally devoted to Krishna. There's no other way. This is the only path. Yasya devi parabhakti yata devi tathagaro tasaiti katita yata prakashanti mahatmana. Only for those who are, as they are dedicated to Krishna, they have not less, equal devotion towards their Guru. Then, in the heart of that person, all the mysteries of the Vedas will manifest themselves. So, how did Shukadeva Goswami begin to describe this Leela? It was impelled by a question by Parikshit Maharaj. See, Parikshit Maharaj, he said, "Oh, Shukadeva Goswami, it seems that the Supreme Lord, when he appears in this world, he takes the side of the demigods and he goes against the demons. So, what is this? Because the Devatas, they are conditioned souls in Sattva Gun. And the demons, they are also conditioned souls in Rajagun and Tamagun. Like that. So, if the Supreme Lord is choosing one side over the other, that means that his mind is involved in 3 gunas. How is that possible? Because Bhagavan is Vishuddha Sattva, Sattvavalamba Parasattva, Vishuddha Sattvam. Sattvam Vishuddham Vasudeva Shabditam. The body, the mind, the thoughts, the feelings, the activities, everything of God, they are Vishuddha Sattva. Completely pure, transcendental, beyond the gunas of this world. then how is it that the Lord comes here and takes the side of the demigods and goes against the demons? He's expressing partiality, he's expressing attachment to one, aversion to another. So I think that our understanding of God, how He becomes involved in this world, there's some fault in that. So please explain it to me. So this doubt about the transcendence of the Lord, this doubt that about the impartiality of the Lord can be removed. This was the question of Parikshit Maharaj. So Shukadeva Goswami, he said, there is no doubt about it, that the Supreme Lord is completely transcendental. He has no involvement in the gunas. He does not have any vision of duality. He's never affected by any praise or insults of the general persons who have no bhakti. So, but it appears to be. So Shukadeva Goswami said, I will illustrate how he's completely impartial. He said that once it happened that when Maharaj Yudhishthira was performing a Rajasuya Jagya, Sri Krishna came there. So Maharaj Yudhishthira, all his family, they were doing so many services. But Sri Krishna volunteered to do the service that no one would do. That was wash the feet of the guests when they arrived.
Wow.
So Krishna is very humble. He was washing the feet of all the guests as they arrived and welcoming them with sweet words. And then, when the time in the yagya came, where the most worshipable person should be honored, then there was a discussion. Well, then who should we worship? Because there were many rishis from all over the universe, many demigods were there also. So Sahadev, one of the Pandavas, he stood up, he said, we should worship Krishna. Krishna is the soul of everyone's soul. So if Krishna is honored, then we've automatically honored every living being in the universe. So we should honor Krishna. So then Shishupal was there and he was upset by this. But he didn't want to interrupt. He thought, if I stand up and I give my arguments why we shouldn't worship Krishna, I'll defeat everyone with my powerful logic. And then Krishna won't be worshipped, and a truly most honorable person will be worshipped, and then the yagya will go ahead. But Shishupal, he was envious of Krishna and Krishna's devotees. He thought, if I let them first worship Krishna, then I reveal how he's so unqualified. Then the yagya will be spoiled, and everything will be ruined. Yudhishthira Maharaj cannot do the Rajasura Jagya because of this fault, and then I'll go home feeling very satisfied. So Shishupal, he allowed the puja of Krishna to go on, and then afterwards, then he stood up. And he said, oh, what happened to you? You allowed your mind to be affected by the words of this talkative young boy, Sahadev. Why did you listen to him? This Krishna is a notorious personality. It's not sure which caste he's from even. Is he a Kshatriya or is he a Gopal? He's famous for doing so many things which are against dharma. He's famous as a liar, he's famous as a thief. You know, he used to steal butter in Vrindavan. And the Shishupal, he began to criticize Krishna. But there was when Shishupal was born, there was Akashvani, a prophecy, that if he was born with 4 arms, and when he meets with someone and 2 arms disappear, then that indicates that that person will kill him. So when he came and 2 arms of Shishupal disappeared, then Shishupal's mother, she was crying and she begged Krishna, please don't kill him. Krishna said, all right, and until he makes 100 aparads, I'll not kill him. So Shishupal was there and he was hurling abuse at Krishna. So one abuse after another, 98, 99. But Krishna actually is not affected by the abuse. Krishna was not eager, let me kill him when he did the 100th one. But what really happened is that when they were criticizing him, Bhimsen, Arjun and others, they became furious and they grabbed their swords and they stood up too. But Krishna is very intelligent. He said, sit down, don't do it. So they couldn't move. Why? Because Shishupal knew he was trying to provoke them. Because if a fight will break out, then blood will spill on the floor. And then they prepared that area for the Jagya. So much time, so much effort was in. If one drop of blood will touch it, it will be ruined also. So Shishupal was doing all these different tricks and traps to spoil the Rajasura Jagya. Krishna was very smart. But when Shishupal saw that the Pandavas, they were mumbling and they were ready to fight, then Shishupal turned his attention to the Pandavas and began to criticize them. And this is the thing. Krishna, on his own behalf, he can tolerate anything. But Krishna never tolerates Vaishnava Aparad. Vaishnava Aparad. So when Shishupal began to criticize the Pandavas, then Krishna at once called his Sudarshan Chakra, and that Sudarshan Chakra cut the head of Shishupal. And that was the only way to kill him properly, because it's like a laser, and when there's laser surgery, you know, there's no blood. If Krishna had killed him with a sword or with a club or anything like that, so that was the only way to save the Rajasura Yagya. Krishna did laser surgery with the Sudarshan Chakra. So, now, when Shishupal fell to the ground dead, the people in that assembly saw a light come out from his body, float through the air, and enter into the lotus feet of Sri Krishna. So this light, it was not the light of his Atma. Because Atma is very, very shukshma, very subtle, very tiny, 1/10,000th tip of a hair. No one can see Atma. It was the light coming from his Parshat Deha, his body as an associate of the Supreme Lord. And everyone saw that light float through the air and enter into the lotus feet of Krishna. Yudhishthira Maharaj saw it, and he turned to Narad Muni. He said, how is that possible? Many saints, sages, yogis, they do austerities for hundreds of years, and it's still uncertain whether they'll get liberation. And this person who is so angry and critical, he just got liberated. How is it possible? So Yudhishthira Maharaj posed this question to Narad Muni. Shukadeva Goswami is speaking this to Parikshit Maharaj. He's telling this story to illustrate that the Supreme Lord is not partial. He doesn't see this one is good, this one is bad. He sees all equally. So if we want to be a devotee of Krishna, you have to come also in that stage. Brahma Bhuta Prasanatma Na Sochati Na Kankshati Samak Sarveshu Bhuteshu Mad Bhaktim Labate Param. Samak Sarveshu Bhuteshu. To see all living entities, the rich, the poor, the young, the old, the good, the bad, the ugly, whoever. Same. Equal. Without attachment, without aversion. Otherwise your consciousness is in Maya. Attachment and aversion, this is coming from Maya. So, but still as Vaishnavas we make one discrimination. That is, we have a favoritism towards those who are bhaktas. For the general people, everyone is equal. But those who are devotees, we honor them. Kanishta Adhikari, we honor from in the heart. Madhyam Adhikari, bow down to them. Give pranam. And those who are Uttam Adhikaris who have some realization of bhajan, then we give our life to them completely. And we hear from them. And we try to follow everything that they're telling us. So, we are not like the Brahmavadis who just see everyone equally. We see everyone equally, but devotees, we have special attachment for them. And we cannot be detached from devotees. So, Yudhishthira Maharaj posed this question. And Narad Muni said, Yatha vairanu bandhena marchastanmayatam iyat na tata bhakti yogena iti me nishtamati. Means, I think that a mortal being in this world cannot get such deep absorption in Krishna by doing bhakti as he can by the spirit of enmity, being an enemy of Krishna. This is my opinion, Narad Muni said. So this is a strange thing. Narad Muni is saying that being an enemy of Krishna makes a deeper, more powerful absorption in Krishna than doing Bhakti Yoga. So why are we doing Bhakti Yoga? Why don't we all become like Shishupal?
Like your next chapter.
So the meaning, it's very, very deep. He's not glorifying the enmity. He's glorifying what is called Abhiman Lakshan Vishesh Bhav, a special mood towards Krishna, which is Abhiman Lakshana, characterized by a particular Abhiman, a particular identity, a particular relationship. That is that since he was a small child, Shishupal was thinking, Krishna is my enemy, he's going to kill me. So it was this Abhiman Lakshan Vishesh Bhav, having this ego, I am the enemy of Krishna and Krishna is my enemy. That relationship produced a deep absorption. Whereas a person who is doing Bhakti Yoga, worshipping the deity, here's the deity, and thinking, my name is whatever, Raju, Deepak, whatever, Prakash, whatever my name is, I am from New York, and I am waving my incense at my deity 4 times at the feet. 1, 2, 3, 4. Vaidhi Bhakti. Going through the activities of Vaidhi Bhakti, actually it's purifying. One will make progress, but not so purifying as having Abhiman, Lakshan, Vishesh Bhav, a relation to Krishna, being absorbed in a particular relationship with Him. So, this verse is actually comparing Vaidhi Bhakti with the power of having a relationship with Krishna. So Narad Muni, he said, Kita Paisaskrita Rudha Kudayam Tanamus Smaran Samrambhabaya Yogena Vindate Tat Sarupatam. There's one small insect called Telkata. It's an oil stone, a worm that lives in a hole in the stone. And a bringi, a wasp, came and trapped that small insect in his hole and was trying to get to him. So, if you're a very small worm and a wasp comes, then it's so loud like an aeroplane. So then that little insect is there and all he can hear is the sound of the wasp. And he becomes so absorbed in thoughts of that wasp that Telkata transforms and then he comes out of the hole in the body of a wasp. Narad Muni gave this example that in whatever you are absorbed, then you'll become like that. As Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita, Yam yam vapi smaram bhavam chadyatanti kalevaram tam tame vaiti konteyas datat bhava bhavitaha. Whatever you are absorbed of in the last moment of your life, you get a body exactly like that. So, because Shishupal was absorbed in the four-armed form of Krishna, so he got a four-armed Vaikuntha form. Like this, due to absorption. So, the absorption in a relationship is more powerful than Vaidhi Bhakti. So then Narad Muni, he said, Kamad dveshat bayat snehat yatha bhakteshware mana avesya tadagam hitva bahavas tadgatim gataha. Many persons in the past attained a transcendental destination. Kamat, by calm, by lust. Dveshat, by enmity. Bayat, by fear. Snehat, by affection. Yatha bhakteshware mana. And the persons like myself, Narad said, I became absorbed by doing bhakti. And anyone who becomes absorbed in Krishna, then they must attain a transcendental destination. So here he's describing 5 relationships. Now 2 of them, fear and enmity, we cannot follow that. We cannot follow that. Yudhishthira Maharaj said, well, look, Shishupal, he was against Krishna, but Maharaj Vena was also against Krishna. Remember King Vena? He was also against Krishna, but when he died, he went to hell. So why? Because he was against Krishna, but it was kind of casual. He was against God. Yeah, he was doing his own thing, and from time to time he would mumble and criticize, oh, God is bad. God is unfair, whatever it is. He wasn't interested. So, he was making offense, he wasn't absorbed. Whereas Shishupal, it was a special lila. From the beginning of his life, he knew Krishna will kill me. You see? So, because you don't have any special lila with Krishna in this life, even if you're against Krishna, you won't have the absorption. And any enmity you have to God will just be offense, it will be aparad, it will be sinful, and you'll have to go to hell. So, dvesh, enmity and fear have been neglected, so we're left with calm, that is lust, sneha, affection, and bhakti. So here bhakti means vaidhi bhakti. So then we're just left with two types of raganuga bhakti, kama, that is the kamanuga bhakti, and sambandhanuga, having an affectionate relationship. So you can see in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Srila Rupa Goswami describes how Raganuga Bhakti has two types, the Kamanuga and Sambandhanuga. So where did Rupa Goswami get this from? Oh, from this verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. So we're just illustrating how all the profound teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that were revealed by Rupa Goswami have their basis in Srimad Bhagavatam. That is the Srimad Bhagavatam, Pramanam Amalam, Prema Pumato Maha. We were discussing yesterday this point. So, Sambandha. The teaching here is that we should have an abhiman. So when Gurudev gives Diksha Mantra and teaches the devotee how to serve his deities, at that time, from that day, Diksha means new life. You are born again. And you give up all your idea, your abhiman in relation to this body and this world. I am this race, I am this caste, I am this color, I am this gender, I am from this place or country. And you just always keep in the core of your heart your sambandha given by Gurudev with the deity of your Diksha mantra. Always. Following one of the relationships of Vrindavan. Like some, they are in Vrindavan, they are Krishna's friends. Krishna's my friend. Some, their parents, Krishna's my child. And the gopis, they feel, oh, Krishna is my sweetheart. He is my prana vallabha. So after Diksha, never remember any worldly relations. Stay in that relation which is given by Gurudev with the Ishtadev of your mantra. This is more powerful than doing so much Vaidhi Bhakti. We'll have to follow Vaidhi Bhakti outwardly. But inwardly, we should have the abhiman. Radhika Radasi Jadi Hoy Abhiman Shigra Milai Tava Gokulakan. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, if someone has the abhiman, I am the dasi of Radhika, I am the maidservant of Radhika, then very quickly, very soon, they attain the lotus feet of Krishna in Vrindavan. So this is a very important teaching here. So, if one is absorbed, one may be good, bad, sinful, pious, whatever it is. But the main thing is just to be absorbed in remembering God, and God accepts. So, Krishna has no partiality. If someone is antarmukh, they're absorbed in Him, He accepts them. And if someone is bahimukh, then that's what they want, so they go in that direction, away from Krishna. But if anyone turns to Him, Krishna accepts all, even those who are envious of Him, who hate Him, who want to kill Him. So in this way, the Narad Muni was illustrating, Shukadeva Goswami was illustrating that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is fully transcendental, He is completely impartial, He is not taking any sides. This is important to know for two reasons. First reason is, if something goes, any problem comes in our life, I see many times devotees, they become upset and they lose faith in Krishna. Why did God do this to me? So, never think like this. God is not looking at these, your good and bad karmas or anything. So don't think that God is partial. And then the other reason is, if we don't understand how Krishna is impartial, then we'll not become impartial ourselves also. And then we'll become very much involved in attachment and aversion in this world. So, these are some of the deep teachings at the opening of this history. Now, it seems like the Supreme Lord takes the side of the demigods against the demons, because he comes and he saves Prahlad Maharaj and he kills Hiranyakashipu. But this is a superficial understanding. Supreme Lord is equal to everyone, but he favors his bhakta. He favors his devotee. Sammoham sarvabhuteshu name dvaistosti na priya. Krishna said, I am equal to everyone. I am not attached to anyone, I am not averse to anyone. But one who serves me, who is devoted to me, then I am always in him and always with him, and he is always in me. So Krishna, he is equal to everyone, but he favors his devotee. Why is that? Krishna's Swarup is a Sachidananda. It is Swarup Shakti, transcendental energy. And Krishna never interacts with anything which is categorically distinct from his own nature. So Krishna himself in his Swarup does not interact with the material energy. But the devotee who is in this world, his heart is full of bhakti. Bhakti is also Swarup Shakti. So Krishna appears only for his devotee, to save his devotee, to exchange loving pastimes with his devotee. And incidentally, in the course of protecting, saving his devotee and exchanging love with his devotees, if some demons get killed and the demigods are happy, then that was incidental. It was a side effect. Just like if it's cold and you begin to cook in your kitchen. So you light the fire to cook the food, but incidentally your kitchen becomes warm. Like that. So your real purpose was to cook the food, but as a side effect, your kitchen became warm. So in the same way, Krishna only interacts with those who have love for him. But in the course of that interaction, if the demons get killed because they're fighting against the devotees, that doesn't mean that Krishna is against the demons or taking side of the demigods. No. Never. He's not taking sides against anyone. He's just interacting in love with his devotee. Everything else is just, that is incidental. The demons, they always lose in the end because they've taken shelter of the mode of passion. And passion becomes ignorance, and ignorance means destruction. So demons, they destroy themselves by being demons. So don't think in any way that Krishna is partial, materially. But he's only partial to bhakti, pure devotion. Now, Prahlad Maharaj, what kind of devotee is he? We want to be like gopis of Vrindavan. But actually, it's almost impossible how we can be like Prahlad Maharaj. You know? Prahlad Maharaj is superior to Dhruva Maharaj. But superior to Prahlad Maharaj is Ambarish Maharaj. Superior to him is Hanuman. Superior to him is Arjun and the Pandavas. And superior to the Pandavas is Uddhav. And when Uddhav went to Vrindavan, he was crying, Asamaho charana renu jushamaham. I would be lucky if in some future life I could become a blade of grass in Vrindavan. Oh, the Brijbasis are so great. And among Brijbasis, gopis are the topmost. So if you compare, Prahlad is over here, and Uddhav is up there, and the blades of grass in Vrindavan are superior to Uddhav. So how great are the gopis? And we want to be like that. So first, just try to be like Prahlad Maharaj. Start somewhere. But keep in mind, keep in your heart that your goal, your prayojan, your goal of life is to follow gopis of Vrindavan. It seems an impossible task, but it's possible. Why? Because Radha Krishna themselves came in this Kali Yuga in the form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to give the love of the gopis of Vrindavan. He came to give this. So if someone is very humble, they don't commit offense, and they take shelter of their Guru and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then for sure there's no doubt about it, it is certain. Your fate is already sealed. You serve Radha Krishna in the form of a gopi. So, Prahlad, this is very echoing, too much echo. I turned my echo off here, but now you have echo there. So if you can turn down the reverb. Otherwise I sound like I'm in the bottom of a cave. The reverb's good for singing, but not so much for speaking. So, Prahlad Maharaj, he did not have any awareness of worldly activities at all. He did not understand how the world was going on. He had no awareness of duality, of happiness and distress, and friendship and enmity, all of these things. He was so absorbed in Krishna. He used to sit and weep, Krishna, where are you, where are you? And then he would look and see in the distance that Krishna was coming and calling, oh Prahlad, why are you crying? I only went away for a few minutes. And then Prahlad used to see him and begin to laugh. No one else could see what was going on. They just saw. So he was like a mad person. And Prahlad would laugh and he would get up and start dancing. And Supreme Lord used to embrace him. And feeling the touch of the hands of the Supreme Lord, Prahlad's hairs would stand on end. And sometimes Krishna would disappear. And then Prahlad was very deep in thought. When will I see Krishna again? When will I see him again? And then he would see Krishna at you. How can I be far from you? And he would come and dance with him. Prahlad would become so absorbed in remembering Krishna. Sometimes he would become in a state of unmad, the Sancharibhav, unmad, completely intoxicated, and he would think that he was Krishna and he would imitate Krishna's pastimes. Sometimes he would imitate the pastimes of Lord Ramachandra that they have performed when they came in this world. So like this, Prahlad Maharaj has been this. So one day, his mother decorated him, bathed him, massaged him, decorated him with a beautiful flower garland and dressed him in nice clothing and brought him in front of his father. So as you know, Hiranyakashipu, he was upset. Previously he'd become upset because Lord Varahadev had killed, or rather liberated. God never kills anyone. If you think that God kills someone, then you are in Maya. Because we are not this body. And Supreme Lord knows that you are not this body. So the soul is never a part of the body. We only feel as if we are this body due to avivek, lack of discrimination. If you become alert, then just now you can understand you are not this body. But because we are not alert, we are intoxicated with the desire for enjoyment. So we have a bodily identification. But when our vivek comes, then we will become shakshi, only witness, watching. Mind is going on, body is going on, we're just watching. So, Supreme Lord only helps everyone, is kind to everyone, he liberates them. But Hiranyakashipu was thinking, he killed my brother, so I am going to kill him. And he went to the valley of Mandara mountain and he did austerity, standing on the tip of his toes with his arms in the air. For 35,000 years. Ants came and ate all the skin of his body. They made an anthill around him. Only the bones were there. But he kept the pran moving in his bones. And from his tapasya, fire was coming from the top of his head. It was heating up the whole universe. The demigods became perturbed. And they prayed to the Supreme Lord. They prayed to Lord Brahma. Oh, you should do something. We're all, it's too getting hot because of him. So then Lord Brahma came and he sprinkled his water from his kamandalu on Hiranyakashipu's bones, and at once again he had a beautiful young golden body, very handsome, very powerful, and he had tears in his eyes. His body was trembling, hair standing on end. He gave Dandavat Pranam to Lord Brahma because now my austerities, the fruit will come. Lord Brahma said, I'll give you a benediction, what do you want? He said, I want to be immortal. Lord Brahma said, even I am not immortal. ask for something else. So then he tried to be tricky. He said, give me the benediction that I cannot be killed in the day or the night, on the land, the sea, or in the air, inside my house, outside my house, by any human being or demigod or animal, in any month, by any weapon. Lord Brahma said, Tatastu, so be it. Then Hiranyakashipu was so happy. Now I am immortal. And then from there, he invaded heaven, he drove out Indra and all the demigods, and he was sitting on the throne of Indra and made himself the king of heaven. He was controlling the whole universe. He was so powerful. Even he was drunk and he was changing everything. He made it so that if you do bad activities, you get a good result. And if you do good activities, you get a bad result. He was so powerful. Even when he was drunk, he was controlling so many aspects of nature. So you can just imagine how puffed up he had become. If you become a manager of a big company, or if you become the president of America, or something, he's become the king of heaven. So puffed up. But Prahlad, my little boy, came in front of his father, and when Hiranyakashipu saw Prahlad Maharaj, he picked up his son lovingly in his lap, and he sniffed his head. This is one of the anubhavs of the Vatsalya, parental mood. And tears came in his eyes. He was thinking, I'm so proud of my son. He's a chip off the old block, just like his dad. He was thinking like that. He didn't understand what Prahlad Maharaj was like. So then he said, he wanted to see how his son's education was going. So he said, oh Prahlad, please tell me, what is the best thing you have learned at school from your teachers? Prahlad Maharaj said, Tat sadhu madhye suravarya dehinam samasamudvigya diyam asadgrahat hitvatmapatham kriyamandakupam vanam gato yed harimasrayeta. O Asuryavarya, best of the demons, the best thing I have learned is this, that the people in this world who are asatgraha, they have accepted this temporary body to be the self. Then they are embarrassed by one inconvenience, one miserable, uncomfortable situation after another, without any end. They have fallen into a dark well of household life, surrounded by wives, children, money, houses, animals, dogs and cats and all things. They have so much attachment for all of these things, and they've completely forgot the progress of their soul. So, hitatmam patam kriyamandakupan, the best advice, the best thing that I have learned is that one should leave this dark well of materialistic household life, which is blocking the progress of the soul. And banam goto yadanimasraya, and go banam to Vrindavan. And there take shelter of the lotus feet of Hari, Supreme Lord. So, here Prahlad Maharaj, he's speaking about materialistic household life. He's not speaking about Vaishnav, Grihastha ashram. Because now he's 5. After a few years he got married. Otherwise, where did Bala Maharaj come from? Bala Maharaj is his grandson. But the worldly, materialistic household life is very dangerous. So he saw his father was in that condition. So he said, he was implying the best thing you can do is leave all this, go to Vrindavan and do bhajan and serve Supreme Lord Hari. Hiranyakashipu was furious. Why? Hari had killed his brother. He said, now my son has taken the side of the enemy. But he's a little boy, he's an innocent little boy. It means someone must have polluted his intelligence. So Hiranyakashipu, he looked up and he looked at the school teachers of Prahlad Maharaj. Do you know them? Who are they? Yes, Sanda and Amarka. Sanda means bull. Bull knows about just eating all day and mating with the cows. So, one teacher was like that. And the other teacher, Amarka, means darkness. Well, he has so much material knowledge, but this material knowledge is all ignorance. All ignorance. You go to college, you can get a PhD. Many different PhDs, but they're all on one subject only, avidya, ignorance. So Hiranyakashipu turned to Sanda and Amarka and he said, "Oh, find out what happened. Maybe some Vaishnavas came into the palace in disguise and they have polluted the intelligence of this child." So then he gave his son Prahlad to the teachers, and the teachers came to him with some sweets. "Oh, good boy, our blessings to you. We'll give you some sweets. If you can tell us how your intelligence was changed. Did some enemy come here to the palace and change your mind like this? Tell us, how did it happen?" When Prahlad Maharaj heard them speaking, he folded his hands. He said, "I bow down to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by the influence of whose material energy the living beings become bewildered and think this person is my enemy and this person is my friend. I heard about it before." He was thinking, "I heard about it before from my Gurudev, and now I am seeing it before my very eyes." These two persons, Sandana and Amarka, who are completely soaked in ignorance, they think that I am a foolish child. So what can I say to them? So then Prahlad Maharaj, he said, "Yatha brahmattayo brahman swayam akarsha sannidhim tatha me vidyate chetas chakrapani yadrichaya." No one has changed my mind. No one has changed my intelligence. But rather, just as iron is attracted to a magnet spontaneously, so in the same way, Chakrapani Yadrichaya, by the independent wish of Chakrapani, the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, my consciousness is just naturally, spontaneously attracted to his lotus feet. Sanda and Amarka called their servants, "Bring us a stick. Bring me a stick. Because now it's time we will have to take recourse to the fourth method of diplomacy." You know, there are 4 methods of diplomacy. If you want to persuade a Brahmin to do something, you use logic and reason and philosophy. If you want to persuade a Kshatriya to do something, then you have to offer him a position, more pratishta. And if you want to persuade a businessman, a Vaishya, to do something, you have to give him a bribe under the table. But a Sudra who is in ignorance, if you want to persuade them, they don't understand anything but punishment, stick. So the teacher said, now we have to take recourse to the 4th method of diplomacy with this boy. And they took him to school and they began to try to educate him more on politics and economics and all the demonic subjects. So they were watching him very carefully for some time, and then they thought, now he's okay. And then again they brought him in front of Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu saw his boy, took him on his lap. He said, "My dear son, please tell me, what is the best thing that you have learned at school?" Prahlad Maharaj said, "Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Bandhanam, Sakyam, Dasyam, Atma Nivedanam, Iti Pumsa Pita Vishnu, Bhaktis Channava Lakshana, Kreti Bhagavatada Tanmadye Ditumutamam." The best thing I have learned is this. Iti Pumsa Pita Vishnu. A person who first offered themselves completely, they gave their soul at the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. And then, after that, they engage in Sravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. And all these angas of bhakti, it is to be considered that that person is the most learned person. They have understood the essence of everything. So this is a very important point that Prahlad Maharaj is making. Because many persons engage in Sravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, but not so many persons engage in Iti Pumsarpita Vishnu, surrendering their heart fully. In our conditioned state, we cannot surrender to Krishna because we haven't seen him, we have no experience of him. So Krishna has a form. Guru Krishna Rupoya Shastra Pramane. Guru Rupe Krishna Kripa Karin Bhaktagane. Krishna appears to us in the form of Gurudev. So Itipam Sapata Vishnu means that person who is surrendered to the Supreme Lord in the form of his Ashray Vigraha Gurudev fully. And after that, he engages in Sravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam. That person's knowledge is perfect. Because without Sharanagati, complete surrender, without giving up one's independence, without rendering Nishkapat, Nishwarta Guru Seva, service to Guru without any selfishness, without any duplicity, then we cannot experience what is actually Shuddha Bhakti. When someone has the adhikar for Shuddha Bhakti, at once when they chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, then they can see the lotus feet of Krishna in the heart. Pratyakshavagam dhamyam susukam kartamavyam. Krishna said, this bhakti yoga, Raja Vidya Raja Guyam, it's the king of knowledge, and it's pratyaksh, it gives you pratyaksh direct experience. Okay, so if you are hearing, chanting and remembering, but you're not having a direct experience of Krishna, then something is missing in our Sharanagati, in our surrender. So we should try to fix that, surrender. And then the actual pratyaksh, the direct experience of bhakti will come. So when Hiranyakashipu heard this, he threw Prahlad off his lap. He said, what is this? It is just, even though you are my son, it is like if a person has a cancer or some disease in the body, even though the body is part of them, but they will cut it off to save themselves from the disease. So in the same way, though you are my son, I have to finish you. And he called his guards, guards, take away this boy and kill him. So then the guards, they took Prahlad Maharaj and they gave him poison. But before drinking the poison, Prahlad Maharaj offered it to Krishna. It became Mahaprasada. Mahaprasade Govinde. And so he did not die. So then they thought, oh, we'll throw him under the feet of stampeding elephants. But when the elephants came, just as they touched him, it was like as if electricity came out and they roared loudly and they ran in different directions. So then they thought, let's throw him in a pit of poisonous snakes. But they put him in the pit of snakes, all the snakes became his friends. They didn't bite him. So they thought, let's throw him from the top of a very high cliff. So they threw him from the top of the cliff and Prahlad Maharaj was falling through the sky. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. No fear at all. And Supreme Lord Krishna appeared and caught him and put him on the ground. So in so many ways they tried to kill him. And Hiranyakashipu was becoming insane. Why won't this boy die? So then his sister, Holika, she came. She said, oh my dear brother, don't worry. I have a benediction from Lord Brahma that I'm fireproof. So you should make a big, like funeral pyre, put a throne on there, and I'll sit there and I'll call Prahlad, oh Prahlad, come and sit in the lap of your auntie, and now hold him tightly, and you set fire to it, and then he'll die. He'll be burnt. So they made the funeral pyre, and Holika sat there, and she called, oh Prahlad, come and sit in the lap of your auntie. And she held him, and the demons set fire, and the flames went up. You couldn't see anything, just flames, flames. And after a long time, when the flames went down, there was just ash. And in the middle of the ash, Prahlad was sitting, smiling. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. And Holika was dead. So celebrating that day, that is called Holy Festival. The Holy Festival is celebrating the day when Krishna saved Prahlad Maharaj from Holika. So, why? Because though she had a benediction from Lord Brahma, But this is only some karma. And because she committed offense to a pure devotee, so all auspiciousness, whatever good karma she had in her life, were completely destroyed. So Brahma's benediction did not act. She lost that and she was burnt. So then, now Hiranyakashipu was very, very disturbed in his mind. So Sanda and Amaka came to him. They said, Your Majesty, don't be worried. Our father, Shukracharya, he's been away. He's away at the moment, but soon he'll come back and he will know exactly what to do. So don't worry, just put him in school and we'll take care of him. So then, Prahlad Maharaj, he was in school with the boys, and when the teachers took their break, all the boys wanted to play. But Prahlad Maharaj, he said, Oh, everyone, come here, come here. I want to tell you something. They said, we want to play. He said, no, I want to tell you something better than playing. And the boys surrounded him. And Prahlad Maharaj, he said, Kaumara acharet pragyo dharman bhagavatani ha dolabam manasam janma tadapya dhruvam arthadam. From now, from your childhood, you should engage in the Bhagavad Dharma. The boy said, but Prahlad, we are children. Children, they don't have to follow Varnashram Dharma. That is not that. When they grow up, they can do that. Prahlad Maharaj said, no. I'm not speaking about Varnashram Dharma. I'm speaking about the Bhagavad Dharma. Bhakti, devotion to the Supreme Lord. There's no restriction. Doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are, wherever you are, whoever you are, everyone at every moment should engage in the service of Krishna. Then the boy said, but when we're older we can do that. Now we want to play. Prahlad Maharaj said, look, no one knows how long they will live. You may say in the future I'll do bhakti, but in the future you may die. And then you lose the human form of life. The boy said, oh, no, then we can do this bhakti in our next life. Prahlad Maharaj said, Durlabham manasam janma. Actually, this human form of life is very rare. There's no guarantee that again you'll have this human form of life. Then they said, but how can it takes a very long time to become perfect in bhakti. Krishna said, Tadapya dhruvam artadam. It's true that life is very momentary, very brief, but still bhakti is artadam. It's extremely effective. Great personalities like Katwanga Maharaj, they became perfect in only a matter of minutes. 12 minutes, Katwanga Maharaj became perfect. So then the boy said, Prahlad Maharaj said, look, a person may live for 100 years, but 50 of those years they spend in bed, drooling on the pillow. So that time is completely wasted. So 50 years are left. And in the beginning of your life, you spend so much time getting your education. And in the end, the last 20 years of your life, then you have no energy, many diseases are coming, you're very sick. So there's a little gap in the middle. That's all. And in that gap in the middle, then you want to become very successful. Have family and children and money and house and so many things. And then the mind becomes absorbed in that. My clothes, my car, my computer, my smartphone, my shoes, my other pair of shoes, my other pair of shoes, my other pair of shoes. My cat, my dog, my horse, my furniture, and the mind is absorbed. So Prahlad Maharaj said, in this way the living entity becomes like a silkworm who's going round and round and round and makes a cocoon around himself and cannot get out. So in this way, by the mind thinking of all of these things, oh, my wife speaks so sweetly to me, we have very nice time together, my children are, oh papa, oh mama, and the mind is thinking of all of these things, and quickly life is over, gone, and you have put yourself in one cocoon and cannot get out. So Prahlad Maharaj said, now, from childhood, don't delay, or whichever point of life you are, if you're young or old, but from this moment, from this very moment, fully surrender to Krishna. Then the boy said, "Oh Prahlad, how did you learn all of this? We were in the same class as you. We don't remember learning this." Then Prahlad Maharaj, he said that when I was in the womb of my mother, at that time, the demigods thought that I would be like Hiranyakashipu, so they wanted to do an abortion. And they all came there to kill Prahlad Maharaj. But Narad Muni came and said that no. Actually, it's a great devotee in the womb of the Kayadu. So then the demigods, they bowed down and they did parikrama of Kayadu. And then Narad Muni took her to his ashram, that is Narad Kund at Govardhan.
Aye.
And for thousands of years, while Hiranyakashipu was doing tapasya, Narad Muni was telling Srimad Bhagavatam to his mother, and Prahlad was in the womb hearing everything. So by the mercy of Narad, already when he was born, that's why they couldn't kill him with swords or anything, because his body was Sachidananda. He was situated in a fully transcendental body. So then Prahlad Maharaj began to tell the boys what he'd learned from Narad. He learned from Narad, Jagrat swapnaha susuptam cha gunato buddhibhrittayaha thasam vilakshano jiva shakshitvaina vinishtitaha. He learned that there are two things: the field and the knower of the field. So, sometimes you are awake, sometimes you go into a dream, and sometimes you go in deep sleep, shushupti. These three states of consciousness, they are called gunato buddhi brittaya. They are changes of buddhi. That is the element of intelligence in your subtle body, and they're caused by the three gunas. Sattvagun makes you awake. Rajagun, mode of passion, makes you dream. And Tamagun puts you in deep sleep. So, only because three gunas are acting on our buddhi, so we experience, now we're being awake, then we fall asleep, we dream, and then we go in deep sleep again. So that's all that we're doing. This is the buddhi brittaya. The vritti is the movement of buddhi. Now just see what happens. When you are dreaming, in your dream you have a body. And your dream body is going here and there. But anyone who looks at you sees that you're lying on the bed, doing nothing. But you think that this dream body is you. But really, this is not a fact. So in the same way, when you wake up, just as due to the mode of passion, your buddhi makes you think that you are that dream body, but it's not you. So in the same way, when you come in sattva gun, into the mode of good, the mode of goodness, not fully, but slowly comes, little, and you wake up, then you are thinking that you are this body, but you're also not this body. So there are two types of dream. The short dream you have at night, and the long dream you have in the day. The short dream may last for whatever, half an hour or a few minutes, whatever. But this dream you're having now, how old are you? 62. 62 years this dream has been going on. This is called buddhi britti. The buddhi intelligence, contaminated intelligence is making this go on. So Prahlad Maharaj said, Thasam vilakshano jiva. The jiva is different from these three states. Shakshitvaina vinishtita, and we can identify who is this jiva, who am I, who is Atma, by the shakshitva. The jiva is not anything that happens when you're awake, dreaming, or in deep sleep. You are only shakshi, the witness. Like Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita, Naivam kinchit karometi. A person who has vivek, discrimination, whose consciousness is alert, then when they stand, when they sit, when they walk, when they talk, when they eat, when they open and close their eyes, they know that only the senses are engaged with their objects, but I am doing nothing. This is called Chakshitva, witnesshood. So Prahlad Maharaj said, I learned from my Gurudev the definition of yoga. The definition of yoga is that by engaging in bhakti to Krishna, one should completely stop all the vrittis of buddhi. That is, one is no longer awake, one is no longer asleep, deep sleep, and one is no longer dreaming. One is in full consciousness of Krishna. So when these three vrittis of buddhi have been checked, their flow has been stopped, and one is absorbed in Krishna 24 hours a day, that is called yoga. So Prahlad Maharaj, he learned this from Narad and he was teaching it to the boys. The boys said, so how do you practice this bhakti yoga? Prahlad Maharaj said, Guru susustaya bhaktya savalabdhapanena cha sangena sarubhaktanam ishvara radhanena cha. He said, first thing, Guru susustaya bhaktya. Be devoted to your spiritual master. Listen very, very carefully with complete faith. If we want to have auspiciousness in our life, then there's no other recourse. We must submit ourselves to hearing transcendental sound from a transcendental source. That will orient us and to have the right direction in life. But if we listen to any non-transcendental sources, we'll go in the wrong direction. For sure. So first thing, Guru Srustraya means listen very carefully with faith and try to follow it in your life. Sava labda panena cha. And everything that you have, body, mind, words, energy, time, money, everything, you offer that to Guru in the service of Guru. Doesn't mean Gurudev will accept it, but you should offer it. Just like Laksha here, the prostitute. She sold all of her jewels and jewelry and ornaments and everything, and Haridas Thakur said, go and distribute it to the Brahmanas, I don't want it. But to give up the mamata, possessiveness for these things, and to have mamata for Gurudev and Krishna, one has to offer everything. So then Prahlad Maharaj said, Sangena sadhu bhaktanam. And if you want to understand your Gurudev, by yourself you will not understand Gurudev. Try to be in the association of sadhus. Gurudev will not say, oh, I am associate of Radha Krishna. I have come from the spiritual world. This morning I was combing Radharani's hair. Gurudev will not tell. But the sadhus who know the glories of Guru, if you associate with them, they'll say, do you know who your Gurudev is? Nikunja yuno ratikali siddhai ya yali bir yuktir apekshaniya tatrati daksharati vallabhasya vande guru shi charana. Your Gurudev is a dasya of Radhika. When Krishna has ended up somehow or other in the Kunj of Chandravali and Radharani is upset, then your Gurudev is standing on the gate of the Kunj watching out, to guarding that place to make sure that Krishna doesn't try to come in. Like this. So the sadhus, they will enlighten us about the glories of Gurudev. So Sangena sadhu bhaktanam. Sadhu bhaktanam means sadhu bhaktanam. Why is Prahlad Maharaj saying that? A bhakta is a sadhu and a sadhu is a bhakta? No. Here sadhu bhakta, sadhu means the perfect behavior. Because there's many type of bhaktas. And some bhaktas, their behavior is not perfect. So no harm. We don't criticize them. Krishna will also help them one day. Krishna has said, Apichatsu jaracharo bhajate mam ananya bhak. Even if a devotee does a very terrible sinful thing, but if he's one-pointed in service to me, he's not serving any devatas, any demigods, then he's a sadhu, I accept him, he'll quickly become perfect. So Krishna says, don't criticize if there's any fault in a devotee. But we don't follow them. We respect them, we don't criticize, but don't follow them. So Prahlad Maharaj says, sadhu bhaktanam, those devotees who sadhu, their behavior is perfect. We follow them. Ishvara aradhanena cha, and under their guidance, we engage in the service of Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. This is called bhakti. Then those boys, they said, we want to start at once. we accept you as our Guru. What should we do? So then Prahlad Maharaj said, all of you should clap your hands. And repeat after me. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
And the sound of the kirtan, it went from the school, from the Gurukul, through the palace and came to the where Hiranyakashipu was sitting on his throne. He thought, what is this? They are singing the glories of my enemy, Vishnu. And very angrily he got up there and he approached Prahlad Maharaj. He said, you fool, you outcast, you traitor, what are you doing? I am so powerful. Even Indra and all the demigods, they're afraid if I just raise my eyebrow. Where do you get the power? Where do you get the strength to defy me? Prahlad Maharaj said, I get my strength, you get your strength. Everyone gets the strength from the same person, Krishna. Hiranyakashipu said, this is the symptom of a person who is about to die. Because when by destiny a person is about to die, then they speak incoherent words. You always talk about some powerful being, more powerful than me. But where is this being? Has anyone ever seen him? Where is he? Prahlad Maharaj said, everywhere. He is everywhere. Hiranyakashipu looked at one pillar in the palace. He said, is he in this pillar? Prahlad Maharaj looked, and then Lord Nrsimhadev gave him a spurti. And he saw Nrsimhadev in the pillar, and Prahlad Maharaj looked, and Nrsimhadev so Prahlad Maharaj said to his father, yes, he's there. Hiranyakashipu said, okay, then let's see how he saves you now when I sever your head from your body. And he took up his sword, but with his fist he punched the pillar and cracked it. And then he turned his back on the pillar and took up his sword and was about to cut the head of Prahlad Maharaj. And then suddenly, there was a huge explosion and the pillar shattered into millions of pieces. And shining like a million suns, a huge figure appeared from the pillar with thousands of arms, bearing thousands of weapons, with the body of a human being, but with the head of a lion, and he was roaring like thunder, causing the whole universe to tremble. Shri Nrsimhadev Bhagavan
Ki Jai.
Lord Nrsimhadev appeared. Hiranyakashipu saw him. He thought, what can he do? I have so many benedictions from Lord Brahma, no one can kill me. So taking his weapons, he attacked Lord Nrsimhadev just like a moth going into a flame. And they began to fight. And sometimes Lord Nrsimhadev, just like Garuda plays with the snake, Lord Nrsimhadev was playing with him. And sometimes caught him and sometimes let him go. So when Lord Nrsimhadev caught him, all the demigods were watching in the sky. They were saying, Jai, Jai. Soon we won't be homeless anymore. We can get our planet back. Jai, Jai. And sometimes when Hiranyakashipu slipped from the grasp, but rather actually he was letting him go because he was playing with him. When he slipped from his hand, then all the demigods were, hi, hi, alas, alas. Kill him quickly, kill him quickly. So the fight was going on. But actually, just to keep true the words of Lord Brahma, Lord Nrsimhadev was biding his time. He was waiting for that moment when the sun was just about to set. And just as the sun was setting, then he came to the threshold of the palace and he took Hiranyakashipu on his lap and he broke open his abdomen. He was roaring like a lion, killing his prey. He ripped out the intestines of Hiranyakashipu and wrapped them around his neck. And he was covered in blood. He threw the body on the ground and then he went and then he sat on the throne of Hiranyakashipu. Because if there's a king and they're in a battle, then the victory is when the king who wins accepts the throne of the king who was defeated. So then he sat on the throne there. And actually this shows his love for his devotee. Because that Hiranyakashipu was actually Jai. He's the servant, the guardian of the gate of Vaikuntha. So even though many rishis and sages were there, and when Lord Nrsimhadev appeared, after he killed Hiranyakashipu, Idam Masanam Om Nrsimhaya Namaha, they offered a seat, pure seats to him. But he went and sat on the second-hand seat. Because the Supreme Lord, he likes to use the things that have been used by his devotees. So out of love, for he never saw, oh, this is Hiranyakashipu. He saw the soul, and this is my associate, and I have come to bring him back to me. So out of love for his devotee, he came, and then he used the used asana of his devotee, and he sat down there. And he was roaring loudly, and his mane was covered in blood. So then Lord Brahma, he turned to Lord Shiva. Oh Mahadev, please go and offer prayers and pacify the Lord. Lord Shiva said, you go and pacify him. He's so ferocious, so angry. So then Lord Brahma, he approached Lord Nrsimhadev and he said, oh my Lord, your plan, your intentions are achincha, they are inconceivable. No one can understand them. Why? Because, my Lord, it was you who inspired the four Kumaras to become angry. Because they're Brahmavaris, they're never going to get angry. Four Kumaras. So he said, it was you who inspired the four Kumaras to become angry and give the curse to Jaya and Vijay, that they would appear as Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. It was you who inspired me, Lord Brahma, to give these benedictions to Hiranyakashipu, by which he became so powerful. It was you who arranged for your devotee to take birth as the son of Hiranyakashipu. It was you who inspired Hiranyakashipu to attack Prahlad Maharaj, and then you yourself came and saved him from the person you inspired to attack him, who became powerful for the benediction that I gave him, and you inspired me to give that benediction. So, who did all of this? Everything. It was all you. So, Bhishmadev, on his deathbed, Bhishmadev, when he was on the bed of arrows, he prayed to Krishna, Na yasyakarik chit rajan puban vedana viditsitam yad vijigyasayo yukta muyanti kavayopihi. Bhishmadev said, my Lord, no one can understand your plan. We can understand the anubhavs. For example, anubhav means a response to love. If Krishna feels love in his heart, then he expresses that. So we know that Krishna, he was driving the chariot of Arjun. Krishna's driving the chariot of Arjun is an anubhav. Because when he sees Arjun, his heart melts with love. He thinks, what can I do for you? Let me drive your chariot. Krishna is bound by a rope of Mother Yashoda. This is Krishna's he becomes like a helpless baby, tied up by his mother when he's naughty. Why? Because when he sees the love of Mother Yashoda, he becomes helpless. These are anubhavs. So we can know the anubhavs, the activities that the Lord does as a response to love. But what's his plan? How his Leela will unfold? No one can know his intentions. So therefore, my Lord, all I can do is, I bow down to you, I bow down to all your Shaktis, and I beg you, please, always accept me as your servant. So Lord Brahma prayed like this, but the Sringadev was still in a ferocious mood. So then Lord Brahma told Prahlad Maharaj, you go ahead. You speak to him. So then Prahlad Maharaj, he was not afraid at all. Just like a little boy goes to his father skipping very happily, Prahlad Maharaj went skipping there like that. And when Lord Nrsimhadev saw him, at once he became peaceful, pacified. And he took Prahlad in his lap. Prahlad said, I am not afraid of your sharp teeth. I am not afraid of the intestines around your neck. I am not afraid of your blood-spattered mane. I am not afraid of your loud roaring like thunder. I am not afraid of your sharp nails. I am only afraid of one thing, asatsanga. I am afraid of associating with non-devotees. Why? Because by kusanga, by associating with those who are not devoted to Krishna, then one's mind becomes averse, it slowly turns away. Yeah? And that is the greatest disaster of our life. So Prahlad Maharaj, he began to offer prayers to Lord Nrsimhadev. He said, Channa kalo yadabhavastri yugo tasattvam. Oh my Lord, you have a name, Triyuga. Your name is Triyuga. Why? Because you appear in 3 yugas, Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga and Dwapara Yuga. But even though you appear in the 4th Yuga, that incarnation Channa kalo. That means in the age of Kali, you appear in a disguised form, in a hidden form. So Prahlad Maharaj began to glorify Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the lap of Lord Nrsimhadev. It's there in Srimad Bhagavatam. Sachinandan Gauri ki
Jai.
Yes, you think I'm making it up?
No. Still needs to be here in the
Channa kalo yadabhavastri yugo tasattvam. Prahlad Maharaj directly in the 7th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam is glorifying the incarnation of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, Prahlad Maharaj, he said to Lord Nrsimhadev, Prayena Deva Munayo. There are many persons. They want their sages, they want their own liberation only. Prayena Deva Munaya Swavimukti Kama Maunam Charanti Vijanena Paratanishta. There are so many transcendentalists, spiritualists. They leave, they give up the company of other people and they go in alone in a cave somewhere in complete silence and they try to serve God. Why? Na parata nishta. They don't have nishta. They don't have faith. They're helping others. Please His Supreme Lord. Prahlad Maharaj said, I'm not like that. Prahlad Maharaj never went off in a cave. He's there doing kirtan with all the demon children. So in this way, he's the Mahajan. He's Acharya. We want to follow Prahlad Maharaj. We should know that Supreme Lord is very pleased when we help others, when we try to share the holy name. Mahaprabhu said, Yare dekata hikaya Krishna upadesh, amara gyai guru hayatare desh. Kabuna bodhibi tomai vishaya taranga, punapi eitai pabimora sangha. Mahaprabhu told one devotee in South India, he said, everywhere you go, everyone you meet, you tell them about Krishna. On my order, you become guru and liberate everyone in this land. And I promise you that if you follow this order, then the waves of sense gratification, the waves of Maya, are always attacking any transcendentalist. If you go alone somewhere and think, I'll chant, no, Maya will follow you. What do you think? Maya following? Maya's living. Where?
Mind.
Indriyani mano buddhiya adhyastisthana muchate. Krishna in Bhagavad Gita said, your enemy is lust. What you renounce? Renounce everything, okay, renounce everything. But your enemy is living in your senses, in your mind and in your intelligence. This will go wherever you go. So how will you be saved? Only one way to be saved. Yari dekatahi kaha Krishna upadesh. Preaching. Do prachar all the time. Everyone you meet, everywhere you go, tell them about Krishna.
Right.
And then Mahaprabhu, he promised, if you do this, I promise you that the waves of sense gratification, they will never obstruct your progress. You will always progress. Punapi etai pavimora sangha. And very soon, you will meet with me again. Jai Sachinandan Govari.
Hari Hari Bo.
Yes. So Prahlad Maharaj said, I am not like those transcendentalists. I don't want to be liberated without so many fools and rascals are in this world. But I don't want to go and leave them behind. They should also develop Krishna consciousness and be happy. Prahlad Maharaj said, Naivopayatcha patitim kavayas tavesha brahmayushapi kritam miridum Naivo dujai paraduratya vaitaranyas twadvirya gayana mahamrata magna chitta sochaita to vibukasheta sa indriyata maya sukaya param udvahato vimudhan. Oh my Lord, though I am in this material world, I have no fear, I have no lamentation. Because my chitta is always nimagna. My entire consciousness is always immersed in the ocean of your beautiful, sweet glories and pastimes. But still I have one lamentation. I lament for the ignorant persons of this world who have created. Actually, when you're born, you come with empty hands and you leave with empty hands. But in the middle, we create so many responsibilities for ourselves. We have one responsibility. Our responsibility is bhakti. But we create so many artificial responsibilities and we carry this burden around on our head all the time and say, I have no time for bhakti. So Prahlad Maharaj said, I have one lamentation. I lament for the foolish persons who waste their whole life carrying the burden of self-created responsibilities. I am very worried about them. Yan maitunadi griyomedi sukam hitucham kanduryayena karayori vadukadukam tripyanti neha kripana bahuduka bhajam kandutivan manasivjan vishahita dhira. Prahlad Maharaj said, the materialistic persons, they are thinking that the sex life is the greatest thing. But this is just like an itch. If you have a skin disease and the itch, it's itching. If you scratch it, then the itch increases and you keep scratching and then blood comes and then you have to stop anyway. So said in the same way, this sex desire, attraction between male and female in this world is like this skin disease. And even though the living entity is dead, scratching again, but they never become free from this, they're always disturbed by it. This is the manasijan. It's just coming from the mind. What does this body want? Nothing is dead. It's made of earth, fire, air, wood. It doesn't. But the mind, because Rajas is in the mind, so we feel, oh, this body has so many necessities, everything. Prahlad Maharaj says, this is just manasijam coming from the mind. So the true policy is vishaheta dhiraha. One should just tolerate. Whatever sense gratification the body is, just tolerate that. Because it will only lead to destruction, suffering and frustration. And try to engage all the senses in the service of Krishna. So in this way, Prahlad Maharaj was offering very beautiful prayers, full of very good advice for all of us to Lord Nrsimhadev. So finally, Lord Nrsimhadev, he said, Prahlad, I am very pleased with you. Please request from me a benediction. Prahlad Maharaj said, my Lord, I am not a businessman. I never served you to get something from you. I am serving you only for your happiness. Lord Nrsimhadev said, I will be happy if you accept a benediction. So you should accept something. Prahlad Maharaj said, alright, give me the benediction that in the core of my heart there will be no material desires. Lord Narasimha said, oh, you are very tricky. You are trying to escape having a benediction from me. Because your heart is already completely pure, there are no material desires there. So again you should ask. Prahlad Maharaj said, alright, then give me the benediction that my father should not suffer for the offenses that he was committing against me. Lord Narasimha said, oh, what to speak of your father? Because of the strength of your devotion, 21 of your generations, forefathers, are all liberated on the power of your bhakti. So that's very astonishing, because his father is Hiranyakashipu, and his father is Kashyapa, and his father is Lord Brahma. So he actually, and then before Lord Brahma there isn't anyone else. Swayambhuva Manu, sorry, and then Lord Brahma. So his generations only go back 4 generations, and then that's the beginning of the universe. So that means that bhakti is so powerful, it even liberated his ancestors from the previous creation. Srila Jiva Goswami Pad explains this. Even from the previous day of Lord Brahma, the previous creation, those ancestors, they are also liberated. So then Lord Narasimha says, again, you ask for a benediction. So then Prahlad Maharaj said, you please give me the benediction that the living entities in this world are suffering terrible karmas. Give all their karma to me, let me taste that, and let them be free. Lord Narasimha, he had tears in his eyes. He said, oh Prahlad, my boy, you have defeated me. I cannot allow this. Krishna will not allow that to happen to his devotee. He said, but I will give you this benediction, that those who will hear the Harikatha of our conversation and our pastimes together, anyone who will hear that, very soon they'll attain pure bhakti, Krishna prema, and go to the spiritual world.
Haribol. Right.
So, in this way, on this day, Lord Narasimha appeared in this world. And then shortly afterwards he disappeared. And Prahlad Maharaj was crying in separation. He was thinking, I am not a great devotee. Supreme Lord appeared for a few moments and disappeared. And now I am alone. He was very, very humble. And he used to pray to Lord Narasimha. So there's one prayer that's very nice. And I want you to, today, if you forget everything, at least remember this. Take this jewel in your pocket and keep it for your whole life, as a souvenir of Lord Narasimha's appearance day 2080. In the 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a history of Prahlad Maharaj offering some prayers. He said, Swastyastu visvasva kala prasidatam dayantu bhutani shivam mitodiya. It means Swastyastu visvasva kala prasiditam. May there be auspiciousness for the whole universe. Sometimes we have some envy or anger there, and we feel dissatisfied. But you'll feel happy when we have the spirit. May everyone be happy. May the whole universe be filled with auspiciousness. Swastyastu visvasa, then kala prasiditam. Kala means wicked persons. And what about the wicked persons? Prasidatam. May all the wicked persons also be satisfied. Prasidatam. May they be satisfied too. And Dhyayantu Bhutani Shivam Mitodya. How will all the good and the bad people, how will they all become happy? When Dhyayantu Bhutani, when everyone is meditating Shivam on auspiciousness, Mitodya, for each other. Prahlad Maharaj is saying each and every one of us should be meditating and thinking how all the others can have auspicious life. And by that, you become satisfied. But then Prahlad Maharaj says, Manascha chadbram, manascha badram, bhajatam madoksaje. But how is it possible that everyone should have such a good nature? How can everyone be so good-natured to always think of auspiciousness for all the people around them? Manascha badram, when the mind is purified and all inauspiciousness has gone from the mind, only then you feel compassion for your fellow beings. And how can the mind become purified? Manasta bhadram bhajatam adoksaje. Only by doing bhakti to Adoksaj, the transcendental Supreme Lord who exists beyond the realm of our sense perception. Avasyatam no matir apyahoituki. And how can we do bhakti to that Supreme Lord who is transcendental to this world? Avasyatam no matir. May our mati, our consciousness, avasyatam, be completely absorbed in Him. Apyahoituki, without any cause. If you are serving Krishna to get something, you'll never be absorbed. You'll be absorbed in the thing that you want to get from Him. So when we serve Krishna, apyahoituki, only for Krishna's happiness, then it's possible to become absorbed in Krishna. And when you're absorbed in Krishna, then all inauspicious things go from the mind. When all inauspicious things go from the mind, then you think about the welfare of other people. And when you think about the welfare of other people, then you become satisfied and the whole world becomes full of auspiciousness. This is the mentality of Prahlad Maharaj. So take today this mentality of Prahlad Maharaj, this jewel, and keep it always in your pockets. And then the celebration of the Narasimgha Chaturdashi is really successful. This is the real Abhishek of Lord Narasimha, a real puja of Lord Narasimha. That is to follow the mood of Prahlad Maharaj. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he has written one beautiful poem called Navadvip Bhava Taranga. And there he said, when will the day come when I'll be wandering through Navadvip Dham and I'll arrive at the place called Devapalli, and there Lord Narasimha is eternally being served by the various demigods. After killing the Hiranyakashipu, then he was flying through the sky and Lord Narasimha came over Navadvip and he came to rest and he washed the blood from his hands there in the lake at the Devapalli. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, when will I go there? And I'll come before Lord Narasimha and I'll beg him, oh my Lord Narasimha, just as you purified Hiranyakashipu, so in the same way, my heart is full of anarthas. Please purify me so that I may serve the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna. So then, praying like this, Lord Narasimha looked at Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur and he said, my dear boy, I am blessing you to stay in Navadvip Dham, to sit in one place peacefully and chant the holy names, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Always be absorbed in the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. That is the sweetest of all sweet things. Madharam Madharam Etam Mangalam Mangalanam. Chanting Hare Krishna and remembering the pastimes of Radha Krishna. There is nothing sweeter than this. So we don't want to become the devotees of Lord Narasimha. But like Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, we're praying to Lord Narasimha to be devoted to Radha and Krishna. So then Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, then he bowed down to Lord Narasimha and Lord Narasimha put his two lotus feet on his head, and the moment his head was touched by the lotus feet of Lord Narasimha, then love for Radha Krishna awakened in his heart. So don't be many-pointed, worshipping Sita Ram and Narasimha and Jagannath Baladev Subhadra and all so many Varahadev, Kurmamatsa and all. Be one-pointed to the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna only. But we are honoring Lord Narasimha that He will bless us to be purified, that we become qualified to serve them.
Jai.
Shri Narasimgha Bhagwan
Ki Jai.
Bhakta Parashi Prahlad Maharaj
Ki Jai.
Gaura Premanande.
Hari 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 Hari.
So now we'll have a kirtan and have darshan of the Abhishek of Lord Nrsimhadev. I believe Balaram Prabhu may invite devotees if you also want to give Abhishek to Lord Nrsimhadev. And what time is the time to break the fast today? 8:17. Sunset is 8:17. Okay, so
we have.
He didn't appear yet.
Hour and
Okay.
19 minutes.
So by the time we've done the kirtan and the Abhishek, then perhaps it's time for him to.
And some more harvest.
Yeah. Yes, yes. 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 So, you see, bhakti should be ekantik, one-pointed. You know, Hanuman, he said, Sri Nate Janaki Nate Abeda Paramatmani Tathapi Mama Sarvasa Rama Kamala Lochana. Hanuman said, I know that Krishna and Lord Ram, they are obeyed, not different from each other. That they are both Paramatma, that they are the Supreme Lord in two different forms. But still, Tathapi Mama Sarvasva Rama Kamala Lochana. Still, the lotus-eyed Lord Ram is my everything, my all in all, not Krishna. You see? So, there are 5 rasas, Santa, Dasa, Sakya, Vatsalya and Madhurya. The first ras, Shantaras, that is passive adoration. The characteristic of Shantaras is Mamata Gandhahin. There's no mamata, no possessiveness for any form of the Lord. So those personalities who are in Shantarasa, they see all the different forms of God. These are all forms of God, they're all equal, but they don't have a specific liking for any one of them. They're all equal to them. So that is Shantaras. But then in the next rasa, Dasiras, from Dasiras, the quality of Dasiras is mamata, possessiveness. So you cannot have mamata for all the forms. Mamata possessiveness is one. Right? Understand? Like, for example, you have a husband. So you have mamata, he is my husband. But you cannot say, he is my husband, he is my husband, he is my husband. One. So in the same way, you have to have the chastity, the attachment, mamata, for only one form of Bhagavan. So Srimad Bhagavatam tells, Eitech angsa kalapungsa Krishna's tu Bhagavan Swayam. All the forms of God have come from Krishna. He is the highest. All the 5 rasas are present in him to the fullest degree. And therefore, he is the no midyate brahmapusei tadidambaraya. He is the most worshipful being in all the universes. Brahmaji has, in his Brahmastuti, given that conclusion. So, when we have shelter of bona fide Guru and receive Diksha mantra, and otherwise, if Diksha Guru has not explained, then Shiksha Guru will explain who is your Ishtadev, which form of the Lord you should be related with, and in what ras you should serve him. So Diksha Guru will tell. If Diksha Guru has not told, then he'll arrange that you can learn this from your Shiksha Guru, and then you fix your mind in one relationship only, and then Bhakti is very powerful. Otherwise, if you have no Ishtadev, then you cannot advance at all. Because there's no Sambandha Gyan, knowledge of relationship. Bhakti has 3 stages, Sambandha, Abhideya, and then Prayojan. First be established in your relationship, then you serve according to that relationship, and then you can attain the goal, Prem, pure love for your Ishtadev. So that's a very important aspect of our devotional philosophy, to be one-pointed to your Ishtadev. So we love Lord Nrsimhadev, he's very wonderful, but we praying to him to be one-pointed to Radha and Krishna. Just I want to say one thing. In the pastimes of Krishna in Goloka Vrindavan, if there's any danger, then the Brijbasis, they pray to Giraj Govardhan. Giri Raja Jaya Govardhana Jaya Giri Raja Jaya Govardhana. Oh Govardhan, you are Devata, you are our family Devata, so we take shelter of you, please protect us. So, in Nitya Navadvip, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela is eternally going on, there, the same relationship that the Brijbasis have with Govardhan, that relationship the Navadvip Basis have towards Lord Nishingadev. He's like the Govardhan personality of Navadvip. Yeah. Narasimgha Bhagavan ki jai. So that's another way in which you can understand your relationship with Lord Nishingadev as being the protector of your Swarup in Gora Lila. And Govardhan is your protector in Krishna Lila. Like that. Gaur Premanande!
Hari 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 oh.
So everyone is looking a bit cold, so you have to dance.
Yeah.
You want to use this drum? This merdang is lighter?
Yeah, it's lighter. Someone sitting Narasimgha Bhagavan ki jai, Bhagavan Shiklan Maharaj ki jai. Namaste Narasimhaya.
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Namaste Narasimhaya. The nine hands. Narasimgha Bhagato Narasimgha. Yata yata yami tato Narasimgha. Yata yata yami tato Narasimgha. Aye Narasimgha. Saranam Prapade. Arasim Mamadim Saranam Prapade. Hiranyakashipu Tanubringa Isabadita Harirupa Jagadisha Re Jagadisha Re Jagadisha Re Dalita Hiranyakashipu Nanobringa Isabadila Hiruva Jagadisha Re Jagadisha Re Jagadisha Re Jagadisha Re Jaya Jagadisha Re Jagadisha Re Jaya Prahlad Narasimha Prahlad Narasimha Jaya Prahlad Narasimha Prahlad Narasimha Jaya Prahlad Narasimha Prahlad Narasimha Jaya Prahlad Narasimha
Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki
Jai.
So now by the mercy of Lord Nrsimhadev, we remember Radha and Krishna.
Jai.
Abhishek.
Vrindavan ke vriks ko मन मन जाने को दार दार पात पात भी राधे राधे हो जय जय श्री राधे Govind Jai Jai Gopal Jai Jai Hari Bol
Govinda Jai Jai. Gopala Jai Jai.
Govinda Jai Jai Gopal
Govinda Jai Jai. Gopala Jai Jai. Govinda Jai Jai. Gopala Jai Jai. Govinda Jai Jai. Gopala Jai Jai. Govinda Jai Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Bye.
Radhe Yeah.